So welcome to day 4. Well done on making it this far, so far. And today we're going to focus a little bit more on releasing and restoring. So we live in a pretty high-paced, fast environment and society where everything is just go, go, go. So let's take a moment to just pull it back and give ourselves some time. I absolutely love the quote that absolutely almost anything will work if you just unplug it for a few minutes, including yourself. So rolling the shoulders over top of the hips, long spine, invisible string pulling you to the top of the sky, maybe pulling the flesh bone out from underneath, and just grounding down into your mat, feeling the support of the earth underneath you. Just noticing your breath without forcing it or changing it. I just want you to give yourself a scan from the top of the head to the bottom and see how you're feeling, where you might be holding any tension, if there's any aches or pains. So starting from the top of the head, scanning down your head, your neck, to your collarbones, across your shoulders, down your arms, down your torso, into the belly, to the pelvic floor, feeling the connection of the seat bones on your mat, traveling down your legs, your calves, your feet. Noticing if anything brought itself to your attention, or maybe your whole body is just simply waking up. And bring our hands together to heart center. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths first. So big inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale, getting to all the corners, the cobwebs inside of you. Out through the mouth. One more here, as exaggerated as you can. Inhale. Feeling that connection of your hands under your heart space. We'll take a deep breath in and we'll exhale to Om. Inhale. Om. Gently bow our heads and we pay our respects to the traditional landowners and to the Indigenous leaders, past, emerging and present. We give thanks to the sages, the rishis and the yogis who came before us to share this knowledge of yoga. And we give thanks to ourselves for turning up on the mat today. Whatever brought you here, whatever made you start this challenge, breathe into that intention this morning. Let this be the day that you give yourself permission to be exactly who you are. Allow yourself to unwind and to just breathe into your body, connecting with your mind, body and soul in this practice before you start the day. We're going to start today a little bit different. So we're going to start off on our mats. So as always, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae until you touch the mat. Shoulders come down, head come down. And we're going to go into reclined butterfly. So feet together, sending the knees out wide. You can have the feet as close or as far away from you as you like. Placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. We're just going to breathe into this here. Inhaling all the way into the belly, letting the belly rise. And exhaling, feeling it drop underneath our hand. Allowing us to release any tension. If this is too much of a stretch for you in the legs, you can even place some blocks, a cushion, a towel, books, whatever you like to just give yourself a little bit more support under here. Breathing all the way in and exhaling. Keeping your eyes closed, just returning to your breath. Inhaling of 4. Exhaling a little longer to 6. Inhaling and exhale to release just a little bit more tension, letting it melt away from you. Allow yourself this moment of stillness, as sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. One more here. Bringing the knees back together. We're going to inhale to hugging ourselves. Squeezing ourselves into the midline, maybe rocking back and forth, waking up that spine and the back body. Exhaling down. We're going to come back up, placing the hands behind us like we're preparing for our reverse tabletop. And we're just going to bring the knees together, windshield wipe them side to side. Easing into it. Maybe it's getting more exaggerated. You take the hips off the ground with each little twist. Rolling to a gentle stop. So get yourself nice and comfortable. The joys of practicing outside, grass everywhere. And finding your staff position. So pulling the flesh from out of your sit bones. Sitting nice and tall. Again, slight tuck of the pelvis, making sure the spine is traveling up, shoulders over hips. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. And we're just sitting here for a moment as we breathe into this position. It doesn't look much, but when you hold this staff pose, you feel all of your muscles connect and turn on. You want a really strong core here. Maybe just a slight smile or an inside smile. Not forcing anything here. Finding your breath, your comfort, your stability. We're going to inhale the fingertips up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale, folding forward over the legs. So today, you may just be folding to here, you may be folding here, you may be grabbing your feet already. Just find what works for you. If it's really too strong, Bend the knees slightly and lean forward. But we're just going to hold our position. Releasing the back of the neck. Maybe nodding the head, yes. Shaking it no. With each inhale, see if you can find a little more length. And each exhale, allowing you to release a tiny bit more. This is a beautiful pose for introspection, to just going inside of ourselves. Notice if there are any thoughts coming up for you, and see if you can just let them float by like clouds in the sky. Inhaling, lift, and exhaling, folding a little bit further. Just a sign that the body can change every day. Yesterday I was able to go completely down straight away. Today I'm just here. And that's okay. The beauty of the human body is it's meant to change, it's meant to adapt. Coming back to that breath of 4 and 6. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale to melt over the legs. I'm going to gently inhale back up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. We're going to bring our left leg into our thigh, so left foot onto our right thigh. Janusirsasana. So one leg is pointing out still. We're going to inhale up, exhale, turning to look to that outstretched leg. Inhaling one more time, then exhale, folding over that leg. So same thing, focusing on our forward folds, our introspection. Feeling a nice stretch up the side body, maybe the back of the legs. They say that depression is living in the past. Anxiety is living in the future, and happiness is living in the present moment. So as we move through these poses, try and find stillness, try and find peace without worrying about what you need to do, where you need to be. Just relax into this pose. You're going to move your right elbow inside that right knee, and then inhale that left arm up. Maybe you need to adjust a little bit here. You can even open those legs out a little bit wider. You can come up to seating first, and then you can spin into it. Trying to look up underneath that left elbow, really getting into that side stretch. Pointing the toes on your right foot. And inhaling back up. This time we change legs. Left leg out in front, right foot to the inside of our left thigh. We inhale up, turn to face that leg. Inhaling again, And exhaling, folding forward. You might notice that one side is tighter than the other. That's totally normal. Breathing in peace, happiness, whatever it is that you want to take into your day. Exhaling to release the tension and let go of what no longer serves you. Allowing the hamstring to release a little bit more. Allowing our breath to melt us deeper into the pose. Now moving into our side stretch, bringing that arm on the inside of that leg. Inhaling that right arm up. It would be helpful if I faced you. Feeling that stretch. Again, trying to look up underneath that right arm, looking toward the sky, opening that side body. Inhaling up. Now we're going to open both sides, getting your legs as wide as you can, pulling that flesh bone from underneath your sit bones. Inhaling yourself up nice and straight. And you're going to exhale, leading with the chest. Moving forward. Allowing yourself to fold over. Once again, maybe just releasing the tension in that neck. Looking side to side. Nodding your head, yes and no. As you exhale, melting even further. Feeling a beautiful stretch up the legs. Inhaling one more time up. Exhaling, releasing down. It's important to remember that rest is not idleness. It is the time when the mind unwinds and the heart heals. Too many of us are constantly trying to fill our days, especially in a society that just glorifies productivity. Your sole purpose in life isn't to constantly do. Sometimes it's to just be. You're allowed to let go. Gently inhale back up. Bringing the legs together into a butterfly again. Maybe just a couple of butterfly flaps this morning. Lifting the knees up and down. Allowing the hips to loosen up. Coming to stillness. Inhaling up. Exhaling, leading with the chest. Inhaling one more time. And exhaling, carving out the belly, rounding the spine, and allowing your head to drop. So we have a little bit of a yin focus today, of really allowing the muscles to release, the tension go, getting into the deep fascia. I know we're probably all really keen to get into some more steady yoga, and that will be coming soon enough. This week we're still just easing into it, realigning with our breath, reconnecting with our bodies. There's a Chinese proverb that says, tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. So in those moments when you're just allowing yourself to exist, notice who you are, what you want. Let all the stresses just pass you by. Gently rolling back up and moving into our tabletop in all fours. We're going to move into our cat and cows. So making sure that the hands are planted firmly, the elbows are turned in, belly on, knees hip length apart. Inhaling, dropping, looking forward. Exhaling, pushing away. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Do a few more in your own time. Maybe you want to do some hip circles as well. Opening up the spine and the side body. Noticing what your body needs today. And just remember to always be breathing. So inhale up and around. Exhale out and down. And balancing out the other side. Coming to stillness here. We're going to keep this right leg bent as we bring it up for our crouching tiger. Bringing it back through knee to elbow. Inhaling up and back. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Just a few more of these. Warming up the back body, warming up the core. On your next one, bringing that knee to elbow and then stepping that foot up in between the hands. We're going to come into our runner's lunge. Just opening up that hip flexor. Taking nice deep breaths here. One more inhale here. And exhale, sending the hips back. We're lengthening that front leg for our half Hanuman. Maybe you're comfortable straight away. Maybe you need to pull that foot out a little bit more. Up to you. And we're going to inhale halfway here. Exhale, folding over the leg. Allowing all of the back of that leg to open up. Maybe pulling that right hip back in line with the left. A little bit more of a stretch, making sure that those toes are pointed to the ceiling. Your next inhale coming through, and we're going to move into a half pigeon. So maybe heel toe that foot across, bringing that knee to that right wrist. Your foot can stay out here, or if you need it a little bit less, bring it a bit more closer to the hip. Lining ourselves up, making sure that back leg is sent directly behind us. Inhale, opening up, lifting up, and exhale, folding down over that leg. Maybe you stay on your elbows, or maybe you want to place your hand one on top of the other, bringing the forehead down. Or maybe you just release everything into the mat. Allowing that hip, that glute to release and open up. As you're breathing, really imagine that you're sending that breath into the hip. This can be a really tight pose, especially if we haven't done this for a while. If you feel like you're coming up too high over here or underneath the hip, you can even place a bolster, a rolled up towel, a book, a pillow underneath your hips as well to give you a bit more support. Allowing all the ligaments, the tendons to just release. Allowing your body and your mind to just go still. When you're ready, we're going to inhale back up, pushing into the mat, arching that back up a little bit more. We're going to roll through our mat to do the same thing on the other side. So moving to the other end of the mat, we're going to step that left foot between our hands, getting nice and comfortable here, and coming into our runner's lunge, opening up the right hand side. So you can come up like this, or you can stay leaning forward as well. No right or wrong, just whatever's comfortable for you. Notice where the tightness is, if it's the same on this side as it was on the other. When you're ready, inhaling here, then exhaling back to our half Hanuman, sending those hips back, toes pointing up, maybe walking that foot forward. Inhaling lift, exhale, dropping to fold over that leg. Trying to pull that left hip back in line with the right. Breathing here. Surrendering to what is, letting go of what was, and having faith in what will be. Then inhale forward, setting yourself up for that pigeon on the other side. Heel toeing that foot across, sending the hips back, maybe placing a cushion or bolster underneath the hips. That leg is directly behind you. Inhaling here, exhaling to fold forward. Some days this is my absolute favorite pose, others it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable day. But then we just connect to our breath and breathe through it. You might even find that on one side you could have the foot all the way out, on the other you might need to bring it in a bit closer. You never want to be in pain in these poses. Yes, you want to feel some discomfort, but when it becomes full-on pain, we need to release it back a bit. Breathing into that side hip, imagining that breath going all the way down the spine, opening up that hip, the joint, the glute. When you're ready, we're going to gently push into our palms, coming back up. And exhale through to center. And finding our way back onto our mat. Rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. We're going to bring our legs up to our chest, giving ourselves one final hug. Rocking back and forth. And reaching up into our happy baby. Grabbing on the outsides of the feet. Pulling the knees down. Making sure the small of the back is on the mat. Maybe moving one leg then the other. Doing what you need to do here. Pulling it down. And exhaling to our Savasana. Allowing your body to recalibrate, your spine to reset. And allowing your body to integrate everything we've done just then. Taking a deep breath in, and exhaling to release. Let all your fears, worries, stresses melt into the earth underneath you. As you breathe in, focus on what you want to take on in the day. Imagine you're looking up at a beautiful blue sky, gorgeous clouds floating by. Watch the clouds as they pass you, whirling and changing shape. And imagine that each cloud that passes is another one of your worries, another one of your doubts, another one of your fears, and let them just float by. We are always going to have fears, doubts, worries, but we don't have to let these clouds completely consume us. We can allow them to simply just pass on by. Gently start bringing attention back to the mat, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rolling onto your left hand side, giving yourself a final piece of love here. Placing your hands into the mat and pushing yourself up to a seated position. Trying to keep our eyes closed, staying in the practice. Bring our hands to heart center, and we'll end by chanting Om and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I hope you go forward today feeling a little bit calmer, knowing you can always retreat to that sanctuary inside yourself. Namaste.